What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insane battles in the Open Great League featuring a triple legendary team with Shadow Heatran, Shadow Palkia and Rayquaza. And the idea behind this team is that I wanted to completely shut down the Wigglytuff plus double Mud Slap teams, but I wanted to do it in style. So I just built the Shadow Heatran, used up my 1 Elite Charge TM that I mentioned I was saving in my previous video to get Magma Stomp on the Shadow Heatran, and it was an absolute blast. Now unfortunately, whilst I did see lots of Wigglytuff plus Mud Slap cores, most of them were actually in the wrong order with the Mud Slapper in the lead, so in terms of completely shutting down those teams, it was, I will be honest, a complete flop, but I did still pull off some crazy wins with this team. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Which charge move do you think has the best animation in the game? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle in Shadow Heatran into Wigglytuff. So this is the dream lead for us. The opponent's going to say swap into Clodsire. Now I could swap out here, but I'm actually just going to stay in. I realize I'm going to double resist the Poison Sting damage, and these Magma Storms and Fire Spins, they are going to chunk. Of course, Heatran does also learn Earth Power. However, I decided to go for Stone Edge because I've just seen so many Talonflame recently that it feels like I might as well just try and nuke a Talonflame. However, spoiler alert, I don't think I even threw a single Stone Edge up against a Talonflame. So yeah, maybe Earth Power would have been better for me, but either way, I'm going to double shield. The opponent swaps into Gastrodon, trying to snipe with the Mud Slap damage, but we can come in with our Rayquaza. Of course, Body Slam going to hit for neutral damage. Rayquaza definitely not very bulky here, so unfortunately the next Body Slam will probably take us out unless we get the debuff with the Breaking Swipe, and Breaking Swipe going to grab the shield, and it does get the debuff, so Rayquaza should just barely hang on now. Body Slam doesn't get the KO, and we actually reach another Breaking Swipe in time, which is huge for me. Breaking Swipe will be taking out the Gastrodon, and at this point it's going to be game over. There is just nothing Wigglytuff can do up against my Shadow Heatran, so the opponent's just going to concede the match. So GG top on there into next battle. We can see Shadow Heatran into a Lantern. So I'm going to be safe swapping into my Shadow Palkia. It's been a while since I've seen a Lantern, but unfortunately they're going to come in with a Wigglytuff. So of course Wigglytuff, like 4 charms, and they will be taking out the Shadow Palkia, but an Aqua Tail does put them into Fire Spin farm down range for the Shadow Heatran. And as well, of course, Shadow Heatran can completely wall the energy from this Wigglytuff, so I don't have to shield. I can get a huge farm down. Well, actually not as big as maybe I'd hope, but either way, gonna no shield. They go for an Icy Wind. Icy Wind going to debuff my attack, and I'm just going to go straight for the Stone Edge. Again, Earth Power would be better in this situation, but Stone Edge still does respectable damage. We're now going to come in with the Rayquaza, and I might be able to shield once and fully farm them down if they choose to stay in with the Lantern. They go for the Thunderbolt there, and they're staying in. We're able to get the full farm down, and that's because they've also got a Gastrodon in the back. We can now go for Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe, again, going to get the debuff there, and we've got so much loaded energy. I can fire off a second Breaking Swipe on the CMP type with the Body Slam, and yet another debuff from Rayquaza. Man, this is making me remember the times when Rayquaza had a guaranteed debuff with Breaking Swipe, and it was an absolute menace in the Open Great League. It is the reason why I spent so many trades, so much Stardust trying to obtain this Pokemon, and again, another debuff there. I'm able to go for the Dragon Tail farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG top end there. I definitely didn't get that lucky throughout the entire battles, but we are 4 for 4 with Breaking Swipe debuff so far. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Talonflame in the lead. So I'm going to say swap into my Rayquaza. I think this is one of my later battles. I did initially say swap into Palkia every single time. However, of course, Palkia has a really strong matchup up against Talonflame. At this point, I realized they would just barely outpace me to the next charge move by 1 turn. So no point double shielding my Rayquaza. We can come in with the Palkia, shield now, and we will have an energy advantage because I assume they're going to swap out of this matchup, and they come in with a Dunsparce. So at this point, we're going to fire off the Aqua Tail just before they reach the charge move. Aqua Tail is going to be shielded by the Dunsparce, and they do throw straight away. I'm happy to no shield. The opponent actually goes for a Rock Slide there for some reason. So now we're going to come in with the Shadow Heatran. Of course, they will fire off a Drill Run, and Drill Run going to hit for double super effective damage. No, actually, never mind. They go for another Rock Slide. What the heck is this opponent doing? I don't have a clue. But either way, we're now going to fire off the Magma Storm. Magma Storm will be getting the KO, and they come in with a Primeape. So this game isn't lost just yet. We can fire off the Magma Storm, dealing huge damage there. They do reach a charge move, which is unfortunate. And from this range, a Rage Fist will be taking us out. We come in with the Shadow Palkia, and we make it to the Aqua Tail, but we don't get damage registration error there. And that is really unfortunate as we go down to the Incinerate, and we end up losing that game. I think if I tried to just commit to a full Dragon Breath farm down, it would have been a simultaneous KO. However, there's also inconsistencies involving Dragon Breath, fast move damage, not actually registering in the end game there. So honestly, I don't think I could have relied on that either. But either way, into the next battle, and you saw we tanked an Aqua Tail on our Shadow Heatran, just barely. Now we're not even tanking an Aqua Tail on our Shadow Palkia. Come on, bro, you double resist that. You should be living that. But again, it's up to Rayquaza to sweep in the end game because they've got a Mud Boy in the back. Breaking Smite finally doesn't get a debuff there, but I don't think it really matters here because we do have an energy advantage. I should just be able to outpace them to back-to-back Breaking Swipes at this point before they do reach 2 more Aqua Tails. Breaking Swipe number 2, gonna grab that final shield there. We don't get the debuff, but the opponent throws on poor timing, meaning we can go for 1 more Dragon Tail. We will have the energy for the Breaking Swipe, and from this range, Breaking Swipe will, of course, get the KO up against the Quagsire, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there. Into next battle, we see a Shadow Heatran into Dugong. So, this is a good matchup for us. The opponent's going to say swap into Amanda Buzz. And since I am running Stone Edge, I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to full send it here. Stone Edge should do huge damage up against Amanda Buzz. So, we're going to throw it straight away here. And the opponent is going to shield the Stone Edge. That is unfortunate. Amanda Buzz, not typically known for shielding charge moves. So, yeah, I'm honestly not happy about that at all, but we can come in with the Rayquaza, get the debuff with that Breaking Swipe. They are just on foul play, and I realize as well, no point shielding there. They're just going to swap straight away back into their Dugong because our switch swaps are very much misaligned. So now we come back in with the Shadow Heatran. We do correctly shield up the Duron there, as of course Icy Wind would be double resisted. Honestly, it probably would have put us into farm down range anyways, but either way, Magma Storm is going to get the KO there, but they've got a Carbink in the back, and now things aren't looking too good for us. Of course, Arctel is going to do big damage here, do about 50% of their HP, but they can just go for a full Rock Throw farm down, which is not ideal. But then they swap back into Mandibuzz, and this might give me a lifeline here. If I'm able to fully Dragon Breath farm them down and come out with enough HP to at least live 1 Rock Throw, I should be able to win this game, but I just don't think we can live the Rock Throw. And no, unfortunately, we're not able to do so. Rock Throw take us out there, and they do come out with a Rock Slide. Rock Slide takes out the Heatran, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up on there. Into next battle, we can see a Morpeko in the lead. So going to say swap into Shadow Palkia, but they're actually on bite, and they are absolutely chunking us right now. This is the first bite Morpeko I've ever seen, and honestly, it might throw some people off guard. It definitely threw me off guard. They're able to maintain alignment here, which is not ideal. We do have a shield advantage, and I'm actually able to go for the Dragon Tail farm down before they can react in time. They now come in with a Clodsire, so this is still fine with me. Poison Stings, they're not doing too much damage here. Definitely just going to shield as they go for a Sludge Bomb. Now, I could try and catch the next Sludge Bomb, but instead, I am just full sending the Dragon Ascent right now. Dragon Ascent is no shielded by the Clodsire. They've got Greninja in the back, so they're just going to concede the match. So, GG's up on there. Into next battle, see Shadow Heatran into Talonflame once again. So, this time, I think this is one of the earlier battles. So, I actually just swapped into my Shadow Palkia, and we're met with your Novan Stunfisk. Now, at this point, I'm going to fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to be shielded by the opponent. And unfortunately, if they go straight for Mud Bomb here, I don't think they will. Well, I think they will be able to outpace me to back-to-back charge moves, but they actually go for a discharge there, meaning it takes 1 more Thunder Shock to make it to that next charge move, meaning I'm able to reach back-to-back Aqua Tails, which is fine with me. At this point, I'm actually going to let this go, come in with my Heatran, just because if they come back in with the Talonflame, we do have Stone Edge for coverage, so I'm hoping to land the Stone Edge here. The opponent fires off the Mud Bomb, of course, hitting for double super effective, but they've got a Swampert in the back, and unfortunately, things are not going to plan here. We can go for the Breaking Swipe with our Rayquaza, but Breaking Swipe doesn't quite get the KO there. And unfortunately, whatever they throw here, Brave Bird easily gets the one shot. We come in with the Heatran, but again, not running Earth Power. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Earth Power would not be enough damage to get the KO. Magma Storm is resisted. It doesn't do nearly enough damage to take them out there, but our Hydro Cannon easily takes out the Shadow Heatran, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG stop on there. Into next battle. Great lead for us as we see a jump off. The opponent's going to say swap into Dunsparce, and we're just going to stay in. Fire off the Magma Storm immediately. Magma Storm is going to be no shielded by the opponent. And at this point, I realize I can actually just stay in this matchup and go for a full Fire Spin farm down. Just in case I'm not able to do so, I would have tried to swap into my Rayquaza, but now we're going to come in with Rayquaza. Maybe I should have swapped into Palkia here, but I realize I'm actually going to shield this up here because they will now be able to swap back into their jump off. We are all shields down, but but Shadow Heatran does not need shields up against a Jumpluff because we do resist everything they can possibly throw. I'm able to reach back-to-back Breaking Swipes. The first one actually gets the debuff there. Breaking Swipe number 2 is going to get the debuff as well. So again, Rayquaza coming in clutch with those debuffs. I mean, Heatran doesn't really need it here, but we come in with the Heatran. I, of course, have no shields remaining. This Aerial Ace is not going to do much damage whatsoever. They're going to swap back into Bibarel. I need to grab the final shield here, so I go straight for Magma Storm. Magma Storm does grab that final shield. We can swap into Shadow Palkia, but they're able to reach a Hyper Fang, and Hyper Fang gets the KO up against the Palkia, but Heatran able to get the Fire Spin farm down, coming out with another Magma Storm there, and Magma Storm hitting for super effective, easily takes out the Jumpluff, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's top on there. Into next battle, another Jumpluff in the lead. The opponent safe swapped into a Shadow Drapion this time around, so I tried to catch an Aqua Tail there. It does backfire, unfortunately, but I'm going to shield this up. The opponent fires off the Crunch there, and I should be able to reach an Aqua Tail before they reach another Crunch. This is just going to be an Aqua Tail of their own, and of course, it's double resisted. I don't really know why they threw that at all. They come back in with the Jumpluff, and I can just full send a Draco Meteor right now. Draco Meteor is actually not going to get the KO, which is crazy, but we can come in with the Shadow Heatran, of course. One Fire Spin should be enough damage to take out the Jumpluff, and they're going to have a Dugong in the back, and with such a huge energy advantage, this should be game over here. Of course, we do have Rayquaza in the back, which is a little bit scary for us because Rayquaza is going to get absolutely destroyed by the Dugong, but we should still be fine. They do bait with an Icy Wind there. Icy Wind means that maybe Magma Storm won't be enough damage to get the KO, so actually full send a Stone Edge. It gets shielded anyways. We're now going to swap into Rayquaza, just force them to throw their energy, and at this point, it's going to be game over. They don't overfarm enough, so Icy Wind takes us out there, and I can actually commit to a Stone Edge. I could have just gone for the Magma Storm there, but might as well full send the Stone Edge. Stone Edge takes out the Dugong, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there. Into next battle, we see Corsola in the lead. So, this is a fairly neutral matchup, but in neutral situations, with an ABB-style team, you do want to try and swap out eventually, because you kind of need to preserve the Heatran just in case the opponent has, like, a Fairy type in the back. So, at this point, the opponent is going to swap and catch onto their Wigglytuff there. So, they've overfarmed massively on the Corsola, and unfortunately, Wigglytuff gets 3 charms in there as we just barely hang on to that second charm, but they do have a very loaded Corsola. I think they've got like 9 Astonishes worth of energy. I probably could live this, but I kind of need to shield at this point because I don't know what they've got in the back. So we shield up the Swift there. I'm hoping they come in and they just throw straight away, and they do exactly that. So we can go straight for Magma Storm. Magma Storm is going to grab the shield from the opponent, and at this point, we are going to let the Heatran go down. We're going to come in with the Rayquaza here, and Rayquaza should be able to shield once and go for a full Dragon Tail farm down. So it just depends what they've got in the back. And unfortunately, it's a Dugong, so completely hard counted in the back line there. Nothing we could do, really, and we do lose that game. But GG's top end there. Into next battle, we see a Shadow Primeape in the lead. So going to say swap into my Shadow Palkia, and the opponent's going to swap into their Shadow Drapion. And again, just going straight for the Aqua Tail here, which is fine with me. However, these Poison Stings are kind of chunking, so I don't think I will reach back-to-back Aqua Tails. But it doesn't really matter because the opponent doesn't shield my Aqua Tail. We get the KO there. That's a very strange play. But let's see, the opponent comes back in with the Primeape, and they don't commit to the full farm down, which is absolutely fine with me, but we're going to come in with the Rayquaza here. Gonna have to shield once as a... unfortunately, we just barely don't quite get the KO there with the Dragon Tail, but let's see what they've got in the back. They've got a Shadow Golurk, and this is actually a mistake here throwing the Charge Move. I should just commit to a full Fast Move beatdown, and at this point I realize they can throw one move. They're actually not going to reach back-to-back Charge Moves here if we stay in with the Rayquaza and commit to a full Dragon Tail farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there. Into next battle, we see a Kanto Marowak in the lead once again. So, once again, going to say swap into Shadow Palkia, and we're met with a Wigglytuff. And, spoiler alert, this is going to be a team that Yonkers showcased recently. And you guys know Yonkers loves to showcase a toxic team. It's not actually what I expected to see in the back, but it was definitely just as bad, if not worse, than what I was hoping for. So we're going to no-shield this, of course, and the opponent goes for Disarming Voice, which is interesting. Unfortunately, Switch Shock just barely not up yet, so I have to go for a Magma Storm here. But I might grab a shield, and we do grab the shield. We swap into Rayquaza, and it's return of Bastiodon. You hate to see it. Nothing I could do there, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up there. Into the next battle, the opponent safe swapped into Shadow Drapion, and again, I tried to catch an Aqua Tail there. It doesn't work out, so maybe I should just swap straight away into my Palkia. But either way, they fire off the Crunch there, and I can just barely reach an Aqua Tail on the CMP tie with the next crunch. So Aquatel, I'm going to be shielded by the Shadow Drapion, and at this point, I'm definitely just going to double shield because I realize if that Skarmory is on Steel Wing, they won't be able to farm me down, or if they do farm me down, I'm probably going to reach back-to-back Aquatels here, and these Dragon Breaths are chunking. This Aquatel is going to do big damage up against a Shadow Skarmory. It puts them very deep into the red health range. We can now fire off the Aquatel. Aquatel is going to grab the final shield there, and they snipe with a Shadow Feraligatr, but now we can come in with the Rayquaza and reach a Breaking Swipe on the CMP tie. Breaking Swipe will be enough damage to take out Feraligatr, and of course, Shadow Heatran going to completely wall the Skarmory, so I'm able to take that game. So, GG to open there into next battle, another Shadow Kanto Marowak in the lead. So once again, say swapping into our Shadow Palkia. The opponent is choosing to stay in here, firing off the Bone Club here. And we're going to shield that up, and we are going to stay in as well as the opponent, well, chooses not to swap out there. We're going to fire off the Aquatel. Aquatel is going to be shielded. And at this point, I think we're going to come in with our Rayquaza here. I think they are one away from the Rock Slide, so I will have to use my shield unless they just blind through straight away, which, of course, they wouldn't do. So, Rock Slide coming through there. They come in with a Shadow Drapion. I'm now going to overfarm here, fire off the Breaking Swipe. Now, my aim is to catch a crunch onto my Shadow Heatran. And unfortunately, we're not able to do so. I do debuff their attack, which means they're going to have to fire off back-to-back Aquatels, but they would have had to do so anyways, so it doesn't really make a difference here. And they do actually also perfectly overfarm. Aquatel going to take us out there, and 2 more Poison Stings allows them to reach a crunch there. And of course, Rayquaza, not very bulky, crunch takes us out there. And unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG so far there, into next battle, we see a Gastrodon in the lead, and again, another Charmer in the back. So basically, I built this team specifically to counter like the Wigglytuff double Mudslap teams, but I'm seeing it in the wrong order, so that is really frustrating. But either way, we are going to come in with the Shadow Heatran here. Of course, again, don't need to shield anything. Everything is resisted. The opponent's going to go for a Psychic Fangs there. Unfortunately, I won't be able to swap out again because we just come in and take them out so quickly. And unfortunately as well, they do resist Magma Storm, so they don't even need to shield here. They do let that go through. We come in with Rayquaza, and it's just Mudslap double charm. Like, what can you do? Into next battle, we're going to see a Shadow Steelix in the lead here. So, honestly, it really frustrates me that Shadow Steelix does not have the red eyes like it should do. Like, what the heck is that about? But either way, they go for a Psychic Fangs there. They then swap, try to snipe with a few counters from Annihilate, which they are successful in doing so. We go for a Magma Storm there. We're now going to come in with the Rayquaza, and they will just barely outpace me to that first charge move. So, we're going to shield this. They actually go for the Ice Punch there, meaning I can actually just stay in and fire off the Breaking Swipe on the CMP tie here. Breaking Swipe will, of course, be enough damage to get the KO, and the opponents are not going to bother shielding there to grab my final shield. Instead, coming back in with their Shadow Steelix, we can fire off the Breaking Swipe. Honestly, probably should have just committed to the Dragon Ascent, but they actually shield, and we're able to reach another Breaking Swipe. We get damage registration error. That barely doesn't take them out, but unfortunately, they also get damage registration error there, as Dragon Breath does not take them out there, but they've got Superior in the back, and we might be very low on our Shadow Heatran. It just doesn't matter. Vine Whips, double resisted. Magma Storm, one more Fire Spin, gets the KO there, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG to open their into next battle. We see Morpeko in the lead. So, hopefully this one is not on Bite, and they're not, as they do see, wow. As we can see, they are on Thunder Shock there. They come in with a Jump Off, and we are going straight for Draco Meteor here. And the opponent does not respect the damage, and this time it does get the one shot there after the Dragon Breaths. And that is huge for me. They come back in with the Morpeko. They're going to overfarm, but it just doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to no-shield this. They go for the Aura Wheel. We can come in with Rayquaza and just go for a Dragon Tail farm down. And I don't even know what's in the back there, but it doesn't matter. The opponent just concedes the match, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG to open there into next battle, Corsola in the lead. This time, we're actually going to say swap straight away into our Shadow Palkia and go straight for an Aquatel. So, last time, of course, we did see, I think it was Wigglytuff and Dugong in the back. So, I actually swap out straight away there because I need to preserve a lot of my HP on my Shadow Heatran, if that is the case. However, it doesn't look like it, as they would have swapped out. And we actually get the full Dragon Breath farm down, coming out with the Aquatel loaded to throw straight away into Annihilate coming in, grabbing a shield back from the opponent. So this is great for me. I'm going to come in with my Rayquaza, and again, the opponent should just barely outpace me to that charge view, as they do get a counter energy advantage. They go for the Rage Fist there, and we are going to overfarm in this matchup, but the opponent catches onto a Diggersby. Very nice catch there. Breaking Swipe is going to get the debuff though, and we can just go straight for Breaking Swipe number 2. Now, Rayquaza is going to resist the typical charge moves. We get another debuff there, but unfortunately, these quick attacks are not resisted, so they will start to add up over time. Despite double debuffs, we swap into Heatran, trying to get the Magma Storm to grab that final shield there, but unfortunately, they are just barely able to outpace me to the Scorching Sands. We can go for a Breaking Swipe here, but it doesn't matter. They've still got a shield. They can commit the shield there, go for the counter farm down, taking out Rayquaza, and unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG to opponent there. Into the next battle, we see a Greninja in the lead. So going to say swap into my Shadow Palkia, and we're met with a Shadow Drapion. And we're going to throw on the CMP tie here, going straight for the Aquatel. And Aquatel is going to be no shielded. It gets the KO again. Again, I don't know why they didn't shield that, but either way, I'm fine with that. They're now going to come in with Greninja. I'm going to shield this because, honestly, we're probably in Night Slash range at this point. So we shield up the Night Slash. Going to go for 2 Dragon Breaths there. Fire off the Aquatel just before they reach Night Slash number 2. And at this point, we should be looking good here. I can afford to let this go through. The opponent goes for Night Slash. It gets the KO there. We come in with our Rayquaza, and they've got a Clodsire in the back. So we're going straight for the Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe, not going to do too much damage here. But again, it gets the debuff. So getting very lucky with our debuffs at this point in time. I realize if they full send the Earthquake, I can actually make it to a Magma Storm, throw it on the CMP tie. The opponent chooses not to throw it immediately, which is fine with me. Magma Storm is going to grab that final shield from the opponent, and we put them into range where I can probably just Dragon Tail farm them down. They full send the Earthquake there, but I'm 2 away from the Breaking Swipe. They actually swap back into Greninja, so now I might as well just throw the Charge there, not taking any risks. Breaking Swipe will be taking out the Clodsire, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG to opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Primeape in the lead. So, I'm going to be safe swapping into my Shadow Palkia, and the opponent is going to choose to stay in with their Primeape. I'm just going to shield this up here. Rage Fist probably wouldn't quite take us out there, but like maybe one more Karate Chop would have done the job there. So now we're going to fire off an Aquatel. Aquatel is going to be shielded by the opponent, and the opponent is not going to commit to a full farm down. Instead, firing off their Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon double resisted, but it easily takes us out from that range. I'm now going to wait out my Switch Clock here, come in with my Rayquaza, and I should be able to go for a full Dragon Tail farm down. However, they have farmed up to a potential Crunch. It's not enough for an Ice Beam, but it is the Crunch, and Crunch would, of course, hit for neutral damage. It probably would have taken out Rayquaza. We're now going to fire off a Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe is going to be no shielded, and here I should have just thrown that next Breaking Swipe. I don't know what I was thinking. And there, unfortunately, we miss out. We do reach the Charge View, but Close Combat takes us out there on the CMP tie. And of course, they have a Charge View on their Talonflame. If I throw my Breaking Swipe already, I think I'd have been okay. But Brave Bird, going to be taking us out there. And unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG set up over there into the final battle, and again, another Primeape. This time it is a Shadow Primeape, so gonna swap into our Palkia. Again, gonna have to shield this up as they go for a Rage Fist, and now they come in with a Shadow Drapion, and again, this is fine with me. We can fire off the Aquatel here. Aquatel is going to be shielded by the Drapion this time around, but they are going to overfarm. I'm hoping if they go for an Aquatel, we should be able to live this, but no, unfortunately, we don't live that, so we're now gonna come in with the Shadow Heatran, and they're probably going to reach back-to-back Aquatels. So at this point, I'm thinking, do I want to preserve the HP on my Heatran at all? And my answer is no, there's no point here. Of course, they do have a Primeape, so we're just going to come in with Rayquaza. The opponent swaps into a Kanto Marowak, and of course, we are double resisting the Mud Slap damage here. Maybe I should have thrown already, but I figured Breaking Swipe wouldn't quite get the KO from that range, so it might not have grabbed the shield, and I kind of need the shield more than I need the damage at this point. And now we've got back-to-back, so I can grab the shield, and I can also go straight for Breaking Swipe number 2. Breaking Swipe is going to be shielded by the opponent. They come back in with the Shadow Primeape, but I'm able to get that Dragon Tail farm down, coming out with the Breaking Swipe loaded, so the opponent just concedes the match there. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.